Hello, good evening. You're live on GTV and GBC24, your all news channel. My name is Ufoyiwada. Welcome to News Hour. In our first report, President Akufo-Addo has sworn into office reconstituted governing board of the Millennium Development Authority (MIDA). The 11-member board is to supervise a successful implementation of a second compact of the Millennium Challenge account, which is geared towards reliable and sustainable power supply in the country.
Ghana received the first compact of the Millennium Challenge account of an amount of $540 million from the U.S. government in 2006 to boost the country's agriculture sector and roads. The second compact, which is worth $560 million, targets the energy sector. It is to provide reliable and efficient energy, especially to rural communities. The 11-member board that has 6 ministers of state and experts from the energy sector is chaired by Professor Ya Ntiamwa Bedu. She promised to successfully implement the compact.
This indeed is a huge task, but I would like to assure him that we will deliver. Whatever it takes to deliver, we will deliver to ensure that MIDA achieves its goals and successfully operate this compact. The focus of the compact, as the President in Ghana, have chosen a better focus. We have challenges that we need to resolve to move our country forward, and the board will do everything it can to make it work.
The President, Nana Akufo-Addo, tasked the board to work to achieve the objectives of the compact.
This one has the specific goal of enabling us to overcome one of the major challenges that we have to the development of our country. That is the flow of reliable, stable power, both for our economic and personal development. So one can see that it's a very, very critical intervention that the Millennium Challenge Corporation is making in the life of our country. The authority is there to make sure that the objectives of the compact are achieved. And the 11 members of this body who have the voting rights on the authority, you bear the principal responsibility of ensuring that the objectives of the authority are achieved. The government has just come. We believe it is necessary for us to have a look at what is on the table and make sure that the various challenges that there are to the progress of the compact involved in the Electricity Corporation's role and the manner of its role are resolved. Government has already started doing so. Some of the key people who are involved in that are also members of your board. And hopefully very soon, the government's take on how we go forward in that will be out. But our interest is making sure that this compact, which we have adhered to, is implemented and that it is successfully implemented. And the people of Ghana will benefit from that exercise, and that is why we have gone into it.
The governing board is expected to ensure reliable power supply in the country.
Ministry of Energy and Natural Resources has organized a forum on climate impact research and leadership enhancement in the Bunahafi regional capital, Sunyani. The forum discussed the impact of climate change on smallholder farmers in the transitional zone of the country.
The forum was to give farmers from the northern savannah zone who are said to be doing better in the implementation of climate change adaptation strategies the opportunity to share their experience with their counterparts in the transitional zone of Bunahafi and Ashanti regions. The Vice Chancellor of the University of Energy and Natural Resources, Professor Harrison Dapa, hoped that the research findings will inform policy formation to assist farmers to overcome climate change.
The second project which generally stands for Climate Impact Research Capacity and Leadership Enhancement in Sub-Saharan Africa, is to help develop the skills and research output of early career African researchers in the field of climate change and its global impact on development.
A leading member of the management team of Climate Impact Research Capacity and Leadership Enhancement Uptake Project, Dr. Mesidechi, said best practices in climate change adaptation will be repackaged to benefit farmers from the savanna and transitional zones. As part of the project, farmers in the transitional zone will be taken on field trips to the savanna zones to learn at first hand how to adapt to climate change. A manual will also be developed in the local language to educate farmers on climate change adaptation strategies.
A number of people are reported injured in an accident at a pump junction. A Benz bus carrying passengers is said to have veered off the road in an attempt to avoid hitting a pedestrian believed to be a madman. News now continues after the break. Welcome back. The National Identification Authority (NIA) has cautioned that a social media message about the Electoral Commission recruiting on behalf of the NIA and recruitment by the authority itself is a falsehood being peddled by some miscreants. A statement issued by the acting head Corporate Affairs Department of the authority, Madam Pewa Konobi-Ofe, says the NIA has not engaged any entity to recruit people on its behalf. The statement says the NIA will make its operations public and will advertise in the national dailies when it intends to recruit. Business is up next.
My name is Morris Ogbete. In business tonight, MTN Ghana increased its subscriber base from 15 million in 2015 to 19.2 million in 2016. This figure is expected to hit 20 million mark in 2017, which will push MTN Ghana to the Tier 1 category of mobile telecommunications network.
2016 was one of the difficult years for the MTN group, and this affected their performance. In 2016, MTN Nigeria was fined $1.5 billion for missing a deadline to cut off unregistered SIM cards from its network. This, coupled with poor performance from MTN South Africa, meant that the performance for the group was badly affected. It resulted in a $357 million loss for Africa's biggest telecommunications network. In spite of this, MTN Ghana posted significant growth in 2016. The subscriber base of the company increased to 19.2 million. Data growth in the year was 174%. The business grew by 19.8%, more than industry average of 14.4% in 2016. MTN's network availability increased from 98% to 99%. This means the network was constantly available in 2016. In the year under review, MTN Ghana rolled out 5,000 kilometer fiber optic cable to improve its services. MTN also contributed immensely to the economy of Ghana in the area of taxes and corporate social responsibility. According to the chief executive of MTN Ghana, Ebenezer Asante, these were achieved through quality customer care and improved network services.
When we talk about customer experience, it's not only a mantra at MTN, but you can look at even the investment that we poured in 2016, $143 million. All went into the network operation, network deployment, as well as network expansion, all to enhance the experience that we deliver to our customers. We invested a lot in customer service footprints. We invested a lot also even in the network system. The whole of 2016, we did not have any network outage for mobile money, as an example. So we are investing a lot in the network systems. We are investing a lot also in our own technology, and hence the acquisition of the 4G.
In terms of mobile money growth, Mr. Asante said the company registered improved growth in that sector, which contributed immensely to the financial sector of the country.
We transferred in excess of 56 million in terms of the number of transactions. People transferring money, 56 million of such transactions happened on the mobile money platform. And in terms of value, it's about 23 billion Ghana cedis that was distributed. So we are also helping to bridge the gap between the rich and then the poor.
He touched on the outlook of MTN Ghana for 2017.
Today, voice and data still remain the majority of the business. In 2 to 3 years' time, we want the digital side to be the majority of the business, about 60 to 65% contribution in 2 to 3 years' time. We have an internal strategy called 25-2015 that is driving this agenda, to be able to deliver services that are relevant to our customers and also can help MTN itself transform. Mobile financial services will play a key role. For 2017, the single biggest focus is on payments. We are looking forward to a future where, just as you do not think twice before approaching any kiosk to pay with cash, so should you also not think twice before you approach any kiosk to pay with mobile financial services.
MTN Ghana says going forward, the focus will be on improving quality in the network and enhance customer service that gives value to subscribers.
And so the Ghana cedi continues to struggle. On the interbank market, the pound is selling at 5 cedis 59 pesos, the US dollar at 4 cedis 60 pesos, and the euro going for 4 cedis 89 pesos. We go to the international commodities market, where light crude is trading at $48.44 per barrel and cocoa at $1,967 per ton. Gold is going for $1,199.70 an ounce. And finally, business president Nana Akufo-Addo today held talks with the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry at the Flagstaff House in Accra. The discussions focus on 3 major issues: the One District, One Factory initiative, limited access to land or large hectares of land, and the absence of land banks, as well as the Chamber's Sea-Link project to promote trade in West Africa. President Akufo-Addo assured the Chamber of Government resolve to put the private sector at the forefront of economic transformation agenda.
Since assuming office, President Akufo-Addo has reaffirmed his commitment to the growth of the country's private sector. During his first State of the Nation address, President Akufo-Addo promised to roll out a number of policies and initiatives, including tax cuts, to create space for the private sector to develop and provide employment. The Chamber of Commerce was therefore at the Flagstaff House to thank the President on the private sector-centered policies in the 2017 budget and to confer with him on some issues the Chamber considers very critical going forward. These are the One District, One Factory initiative and how the private sector can leverage such opportunity. The other issues are land administration and how to create land banks, as well as the Sea-Link project aimed at boosting trade in the West Africa sub-region. Nana Dr. P.J. Dankawoso is the president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce.
We call on your government as a matter of urgency to tackle this issue of land tenure system. For us to get enough land to look at this one, to commercialize agriculture and to also sustain investment on commercial farming. The One District, One Factory, for us, we think that will help us to reduce poverty, improve livelihood, create employment, and also expand the economy, especially on the agricultural side. As we want to bring this Sea-Link project, we hope that your government will give us, and like all other governments, you have the political will to support us to make sure that this comes to fruition.
The Minister for Trade and Industry, Mr. Alan Chematin, outlined some of the areas in which the private sector would collaborate with the government for economic growth.
When we talk about creation of jobs, it is not our view that is a government that is going to be the main vehicle for creating jobs. I mean, government jobs, public sector jobs do not top above 700,000. So basically, we see that as a private sector responsibility. That is why the main focus of the budget, as His Excellency said, is to support the private sector. We've tried to do so in three ways. First, to build a solid macroeconomic foundation, without which the private sector cannot succeed. Secondly, we've sought to reduce the cost of doing business. So if you look at all the measures in respect of tax release incentives, it's to make the cost of doing business much easier. Then thirdly, and equally importantly, is to provide direct support to the private sector, because you can create an environment and still find that the response from the private sector is weak, because we believe that we have a private sector that has been challenged, not because they've not sought to do the right thing, but because of the environment within which they've been operating.
President Akufo-Addo said the private sector would be critical to its economic transformation agenda because it is one surest way to create employment for the youth.
We see an organization like yours as a natural ally of what we are trying to do. And it is why I say that I see that there is a common understanding of what we are trying to do. What we need to do to build the Ghanaian private sector so that it can take this frontline role in the process of social and economic transformation of our country. What we need to do to strengthen our enterprises, both enterprises working in agriculture, small, medium, large scale, as well as the same small, medium, large scale in the industrial sector. They are the two principal focus of our policy, and we believe that they are the two most effective ways we can grow our economy and also deal with the issues of unemployment, which is a major problem in our country. The land tenure system. There's been a program on the drawing table for now. It's now becoming decades, no longer a matter of years. The land administration bill. We are going to make sure that as humanly possible, we bring it into play, into reality, so that it can simplify and rationalize land holding, land tenure in the country, especially to facilitate investment in agriculture and in commercial farming. So those are very much part and parcels of the. I'm not too familiar with what I've just been told about the C-Link, but it sounds excellent to me. If this is a project that, in fact, is already being talked about by us, to the extent that we're all virtually coastal states in West Africa, it makes a lot of sense to have this emphasis and this focus down there. So let me welcome you and to say that our understanding of our mandate is to do whatever we can to facilitate your work, both as a group and the individual units, the individual enterprises that make up the Ghana Chamber of Commerce, what we can do to strengthen them, strengthen their capacity to produce, strengthen their capacity to export, and then build the capacity of our economy generally.
The Ghana National Chamber of Commerce conferred on President Akufo-Addo, an ordinary member of the chamber, for his contribution to the growth of the private sector of the country.
And I'll do for business. My name is Morris Ogbete.
Welcome back. A Mitsubishi saloon car was this afternoon damaged beyond repairs at Nima Roundabout in an accident involving a trailer truck and a police transfer truck. The trailer truck hit a number of cars in its way after its brakes had failed. In all, 16 vehicles were affected.
The trailer, with a foreign number plate, is said to have been coming towards the Nima roundabout from the Malamata end of the road. According to the driver of one of the affected vehicles and the Nima Divisional Police Commander, Chief Superintendent Abraham Akwe, the land train lost control and was running into anything in its way. A police transfer vehicle, which was in front of the mangled saloon car and the trailer truck, tried to stop and block the trailer to prevent a further damage.
In all, about 16 vehicles were dragged. Incidentally, there was a police vehicle, a transfer vehicle, which was also affected. But in fact, the driver actually exhibited act of bravery, because on seeing the vehicle coming, he slowed down and then pulled the handbrake. So he tried resisting the movement because it was sloping downwards. It could have just caused a lot of havoc.
Recovery work involving towing of the affected vehicles was ongoing. Mr. Daniel Amankwa is the driver of the Mitsubishi vehicle that got mangled. He sustained minor injuries but was treated and discharged at a nearby clinic.
I was coming from the junction here, the Marata junction. So immediately I joined the road. Then I heard people shouting, hey, 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 hey. So all I heard was that this car has failed brake. And there was another cargo car in front of me. So, and there was traffic too, so there's nowhere to dodge. So I was following the cargo car and I saw this one coming. I saw that it came and hit my car and it was pushing us to the cargo car. So, and then we see at long last the car stopped and then people come and help us to calm down.
The police said they would investigate the cause of the accident.
The health news is up next. In health tonight, 32-year-old Selina Benate is in the clutches of a life-threatening ailment. Hypopharynx cancer is a form of throat cancer. The battle for survival will definitely require medical intervention. It also needs support of the general public, who may have to donate money to foot her bills. The amount involved is 20,000 Ghana cedis. Viewers are cautioned that videos will be disturbing.
Doctors describe hypopharynx cancer as rare. It occurs in the part of the throat called hypopharynx. Cancerous cells develop in the tissue there. Doctors say the hypopharynx is the bottom part of the throat leading to the esophagus and stomach. Experts say the causes of hypopharynx cancer is unknown. However, unhealthy lifestyle such as smoking tobacco, excessive alcohol intake, and oral sex are some risk factors.
Avoid oral sex because it's a sexually transmitted infection, so it's in the genitalia of male and female. Do you understand? So either the man or the woman, either way, you expose yourself to the virus. Prevent vitamin deficiency, prevent anemia, at least to prevent that set of group. But then the other group is those who smoke and drink. You see, and if you do one and they leave the other, you're still at a risk. If you do both of them, you just compound your problems.
The head of ear, nose and throat department of the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Kenneth Beidu, hinted that even though hypopharyngeal cancer can affect men, women are more predisposed to the ailment. Meanwhile, Madame Selina Benate is suffering from hypopharyngeal cancer and is currently on admission at the ear, nose and throat unit of the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. Doctors say her condition is deteriorating. She is unable to breathe well, walk, talk, nor eat. Already a hole has been created in her stomach through which she is fed by the use of syringes.
Though she has some pain on swallowing, she could eat. But then it got to a time where she couldn't breathe. So we had to put the tube in the neck. Then subsequently, as it got bigger, eating became more difficult. She couldn't eat solid first. Then now gradually it started affecting the liquid. But in anticipate, one, to improve her nutrition, because whatever treatment you are going to be on, you have to be strong. So they had to do an operation to put a tube into the stomach to feed her directly into the stomach.
Selina has 2 children. Her family is appealing to the general public for an amount of 20,000 Ghana cedis to enable her to undergo radiotherapy and further treatment. Anyone who wishes to support Selina should send their donations through Prudential Bank, account name Selina Fund, account number 0095902410014, or MTN mobile money number 0545 760 026. No amount is too
Time for some sports news. The Netherlands embassy has denied the Special Olympics Ghana contingent visas. The embassy says it cannot guarantee that the contingent will return after the games. Ghana has been billed to feature in the 2017 Special Olympics Winter World Games in Austria. The competition starts from tomorrow, the 14th of March this year, and will end on the 25th.
These are members of the Special Olympics Ghana team. They are expected to participate in the floorball competition at this year's Special Olympics Winter World Games in Austria. But these boys' dreams of making it to the games hang in a balance. The team has been refused visas by the Netherlands embassy. A board member of the Special Olympics Ghana, Nanawe Krampim, tells us more.
The world is expecting to see Ghana competing this year in Austria, following our athletes' heroic performance in the last World Special Olympics Summer Games in Los Angeles in 2015, after winning 4 silver medals in athletics. Being aware that The issuance of visas takes some time. The Board of Special Olympics Ghana submitted their traveling documents to the Netherlands Embassy, which represent the Austria Embassy in Ghana, on the 2nd February 2017. The embassy themselves even gave us exemption to pay visa fees. To our utter dismay, about 2 weeks later, the embassy refused to grant visas to the whole contingent on the grounds that we will not return to Ghana after the games. It is worth noting that all attempts made by Ghana government through the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for the Netherlands Embassy to rescind its decision came to naught. This inhuman behavior from the Netherlands Embassy in Ghana has forced the presidents of Special Olympic Africa and the world body to come to the rescue of the team. But the embassy's posture still remains the same.
Captain of the team and Olympic medalist Isaac Autry said they feel let down by the embassy.
The embassy for your baby because last 2 years you call Yamiadum Yampan Sapan and Befi. Na this year to Nankaya Beko. Na me promise say you to me qua yen shebo by your hope say you the medal a baby free a good medal. Na it's very very fortunate say omunyim say yen to me nyehwe my Ghana omon fa US en pentoto ho no munyim no mu say you bet my bibi ama my Ghana. Yes, you can Ghana. Yes, you can be. You know, and then I ever say, no, then I be say, into me, and can also upon into me, and go against any. If you are who be because into me, uncle, many boys, and you are who be. You know, they may walk and say. The
20-man contingent were expected to leave tonight for the games in Austria. Ghana kicks off a campaign on the 20th of March.
Roger Federer booked his spot in the third round of the BNP Paribas Open with a comfortable 6-2, 6-1 win over 36-year-old Steven Robert. Elsewhere, world number 2 Novak Djokovic began the defense of his title with a hard-fought second round win against Britain's Kyle Edmund. The National Symphony Orchestra was set up by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah to lead the crusade for classical music in Ghana. In an era where hip life, rap and dance hall dominate the music industry, the Arts Desk finds out if the National Symphony Orchestra still holds its relevance in Ghanaian music.
1, 2.
The National Symphony Orchestra is one of the ideas of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. The orchestra is supposed to be the heart and soul of Ghanaian music. But this idea seems to have lost its relevance after he was overthrown in 1966. The orchestra, which is as old as Ghana's independence, remains one of the black classical symphony orchestras on the African continent and has not lived up to expectation.
Since the foundation of the symphony orchestra, we don't even have a bicycle. How do we go around? We try to do these things, but we do them, and in the end, we end up incurring debt.
So how does the orchestra survive?
We do private engagements, like parties, weddings, funerals, what have you. That is what we mainly survive on. So the money that we generate from those is the money we use to maintain the office.
Does the orchestra have space in today's Ghanaian music industry?
Music is not only participatory. But in our part of the world, it looks like music is participatory. What I mean by that is, people will go to a village musical concert. Before you realize, you yourself, you are participating in the music. As audience, you see them clapping and dancing and coming to join and all. But you see, music, sometimes it is best to sit down and listen. It is therapeutic. It heals. You can rejuvenate a tired person, very tired person, by just sitting down and listening to the music.
Patrons believe for the orchestra to stand the test of time, the state and private media must partner and fund this sector of the arts to keep the classical music alive.
A video of a professor whose children interrupted a live interview with the BBC has gone viral and has over 12 million views on YouTube. Professor Kelly was being interviewed about the impeachment of South Korea's President Park Geun-hye. The weather report up on your screens.
Today we will look at weeding and overhead shade reduction. Weed control. Weeds compete with your cocoa trees for nutrients. They take out nutrients from the soil that should go to the cocoa tree. They attract insects and diseases onto your farm, so you must weed your farm regularly so that the cocoa trees get enough food and essential nutrients to produce more healthy pods. Overhead shade reduction. Shade trees help to regulate drought during the dry season. However, if there are too many of them, they cause high humidity, which causes diseases like black pod disease. There should be 5 to 6 trees per acre. To kill unwanted trees, use your cutlass to remove the bark of the excess trees. Coat the exposed area with engine oil or salt water. This kills the tree slowly. First, the leaves drop to the ground, and then the branches fall before finally the trunk dies. Less humidity will make your pods grow strong and healthy.
Thank you very much for joining me. Do enjoy GTV. Good evening.
You've been watching News Hour on GTV and GBC24, your own news channel. We are back at 10 with news tonight.